Today I fucked up by opening my fiancé's DMs. The wound is still fresh, so bear with me. The discovery. I had a rough day and my fiancé's algorithms are top-notch, so I was scrolling through his apps to entertain myself hoping for a pick-me-up. He went to take a shower. I opened his Instagram, got bored with Reddit, so sorry, and noticed he had a couple new DMs. We don't snoop through each other's phones, but we don't hide anything either, or so I thought. So I clicked on them just to see if they were important because he doesn't check Insta that often. Well, I see the DMs are from a deleted account, thus sparking my interest. So I click, and I scroll. Messages go years back, maybe 20 to 30 messages total. Some winky faces, some slightly sexual memes, and a few photos of lingerie. Nothing outright incriminating, but, who is this bitch? My heart dropped. We're getting married in less than 5 months. These messages aren't okay. He's not a cheater? Never once have I questioned that, nor has he given me any reason to. I start to see red. The confrontation. I put on my big girl pants, wipe my tears, and storm into the bathroom. Rip open the shower curtain, revealing this idiot's, albeit glorious, naked body. He, though quite startled, raises his eyebrows and smirks. Looking to join? He says. Wrong move, buddy. I go off. You know, like a badass. He denies it. You know, like a liar. I hold his towel hostage and toss him his phone so he can see for himself. He scrolls and pulls off this wildly confused demeanor. I literally see the blood leave his face. He just kinda says, stuttering, baby, I don't know. We go back and forth. He swears up and down he has no idea who this could be. I'm just as surprised as you are. He claims, criminally. So, I take his phone so I can quote this other woman for emphasis. The reveal. I ready my best Valley Girl voice and scroll to the most recent received messages. I notice for the first time, inconveniently so, a picture she sent of a guinea pig. I think, ah hell, I love guinea pigs. Then I remember. I have seen this guinea pig before. Then I realize. She is me. I deleted all my social media almost a year ago. Neither of us remembered any of the messages we sent. I start laughing and happy crying. My fiancé looks as if he just won the lottery and received the death penalty simultaneously. The aftermath. Now we sit, both recently showered, debating whether or not we should welcome a guinea pig into our family. I am so embarrassed. He is so relieved. We are crazy, stupid, and so in love. Too long did not read. Found cheating indicating messages on my fiancé's phone. Turns out it was my old deleted account. I'm an idiot. He's a keeper. Edit. Didn't wanna edit because I didn't wanna make the hate worse. My fiancé commented somewhere in here a few minutes ago. I just picked up my phone and wow, was not expecting all this. I did apologize to him fully, and I'm sorry I didn't know I should have included that. Most posts I read on here don't usually include a full resolution. I wrote this quickly, not expecting it to blow up. Looking back, I would have changed a lot of my wording. I could defend myself for a lot of things, but that likely wouldn't help. All of this story is true. It was so odd, which is what prompted me to post it. He's not leaving me. There's so much more to our lives than this. I didn't assault him. We are naked at home more than we're clothed. You're all not in my relationship, but I can tell you that him being in the shower was not a violating aspect. He was annoyed, but not hurt or degraded. I've never blown up like this and intend never to again. I've also never worried or accused him before of cheating. This was my first experience and I didn't know how to handle it. I understand concern for him, but there's no reason to say I deserve XYZ. Not sure how to prove this story is true. But think what you will. I didn't mean to sound so cavalier. I wasn't very conscious of my tone of voice. I always write dramatically, but understand that if you don't know me it's different. Wasn't expecting to be called psychotic. Lastly, thanks to the few commenters who left guinea pig info. Final edit only for clarity because it got worse after my first. His comment said this, but it's lost. He handed me his phone. He goes on Instagram maybe once or twice a year. We have an open phone policy. I didn't snoop because our boundaries are. I don't look at texts with his mom, brother, or therapist. He doesn't look at my texts with my sister, brother, therapist, or best friend. I don't have social media besides Reddit and he's rarely active on his. To my knowledge, the boundaries we set have never been broken by either of us. The lingerie pics weren't of me. They were pics he sent to me that he thought I'd like. I wrote this using the exact language of my thoughts in the moment. Sorry if it's cringy, but it's accurate for what I was feeling, thinking. I'm not a creative writer and I'm not trying to be. And disclaimer. If you keep stigmatizing mental illness like you're, I'm going to delete this if I can. I'm not here for karma, I'm here cause today I fucked up. It's absolutely horrible to use illnesses to describe behavior in such hateful ways. Please think about the people you could hurt, besides me, who might read your hate and feel shame because of it. Could you throw up any more red flags? Buy that man a pair of Nikes so he can run. Just wait until after the wedding you realize he sleeps every damn night with an XGF. Also you. Am I being blind, or was there literally zero mention of you apologizing and making it up to him? Edit. As stated by someone else, using sex as a way of an apology is not healthy. Yeah, that happened. You didn't recognize any pictures of yourself from a year or two back. This is bad fanfiction. I won't be as harsh as some of these other people, but I think you need to accept that you were indeed snooping and you might have an impulsive personality that you need to work on. You should have waited until you calmed a bit to confront him. The way you did was immature, not big girl status. It's not the end of the world, and I'm happy for you two to be able to move on so quickly from that. Am I the asshole? And answer is yes. Today I fucked up by flashing my neighbors for, 7 years. This, unfortunately, happened today. And 2 days ago. And so on for most of a decade. You know how it is. When it's 98 degrees, and you do not have AC, you do what it takes to survive. My family has a procedure. Open the windows at night when the temp drops, close them all day to keep it cooler inside. Repeat the cycle. Make sure it's not raining. Try not to get heatstroke. You know how it is. For privacy when the lights are on at night, we have curtains. The bathroom window is curtain-less because there was a giant lilac bush covering it. With that for a privacy screen, we had no curtains and no concerns. If you're paying attention to the verb tenses, congrats, you are smarter than me. Probably 7 years ago, we realized that several million unwanted ants were using our bush as a condo. Also, we realized all of us are allergic to lilac, which is why we used to get sneezy and itchy in the backyard. So we dug out the shrubbery. Hacked it up, burned it, chanted and danced around the fire. You know how it is. Cue me today, waltzing into the bathroom for a shower, stripping down, and standing in front of the mirror. I was doing the usual things naked people do in front of a mirror, popping those odd little body zits, picking at scabs, standing in weird ways to see if you look skinnier. You know how it is. I realized in the reflection that, across the backyard, I could see my neighbor's house and people moving around in their open windows. That's dumb, I thought. They should learn to close their windows. Don't they know that when the lights are on, people can see in? I continued peeling sunburned skin off my shoulder. Hey, that's weird. From here, I can see that family's pole barn. And that family's back windows. And that family's swing set. And the whole family behind us. And the windows of the old guy next to them. And on down the line. In fact, the only windows I couldn't see were those of the lady next door. The only neighbor who would tell me about something this egregious. I closed the window fast enough to create a sonic boom and dove into the shower. The water absorbed my agony as I pondered my mistakes, regretted my life, drafted the Reddit post. You know how it is. Weather permitting, I have been showering every other day with the window open and the light on for the past 7 years. Well, for longer than that. But before the fateful day of removal, only the ants in the lilac bush ever knew. Too long did not read. Hang curtains in your bathroom, plant a lilac bush, or start billing your neighbors for the show. You know how it is. ETA. 1. Opening all the windows is a mindless nightly ritual. 2. Yes, frosted glass is standard in America. But on this window both panes swing inward so it's fully open. 3. Further details about my body will be kept private between God, me, and my neighbors. 4. Showering is how I relax and decompress. Apparently, when I relax, the brain turns off. 5. I have the approximate cognitive capacity of a manual egg beater. I'm sure they enjoyed what they saw or just didn't give a shit. You know how it is. I do know how it is. Unfortunately, I do not know how it is. I have a habit of saying, you know, IRL after almost every point I make happy crying face. If I had to guess, your neighbors have noticed and probably have dubbed you as naked neighbor in the window, and carry on with their days. Or maybe it's like Friends and you have an audience LMAO. The craziest part is one of your neighbors worked on the James Webb Space Telescope. Today I fucked up by tearing my Achilles while being broken up with. This happened a while ago, but it has just now become funny to me, so I thought I'd share my misery. A little background. A couple months prior to this event I tore my Achilles playing soccer with my friends. Freak accident, but it happens. Went through surgery and started my road to recovery. Flash forward to the date of the accident. I had just gotten out of my walking boot the day before this incident, as it had been around 2 months since the first tear. The main thing the doctors tell you when you get out of the boot is to not flex your foot upwards more than 5 degrees, as the tendon is still extremely at risk the first couple days out of the boot, and they want you taking it easy. I was getting ready to go to a sushi place by my house when I get a text from my girlfriend that she's out back of my place and wants to talk to me. Now I live in a cold place and it was the heart of winter during this time, so as you can imagine, conditions outside were not the best. I started the journey down my back stairs and managed to get down with no problem, so that meant I was obviously in the clear, right? I see my girlfriend parked in our apartment's allotted parking spot, but as I was walking up, a car was pulling up in between me and my girlfriend's car. I took a step back as to give the guy ample room to park, and I slip on some ice that I forgot about that was behind me. My feet went straight up in the air, and that's when I heard that sound that's now burned into my brain. If you've ever talked to someone who has torn their Achilles, they describe the feeling as a pop, like you can hear the tendon rupturing. The minute my foot went up in the air, I felt that thing separate as if someone had cut a rubber band in half, and from the minute it happened I knew what was up. Now I like to think of myself as a tough guy, but that shit hurt so fucking bad. I limped to my girlfriend's car and got in, and she is in tears. I don't remember a single thing that was said to me, as I'm pretty sure I blacked that part out of my brain. But this main gist of this was, this isn't working anymore and we should break up. Afterwards, I managed to hobble back into my house, call an ambulance, confirm that I re-tore my Achilles again, and that I would need to have surgery as soon as possible and restart the whole recovery process over. I'm doing better now, as it's been months since that date, but I now confidently dub that moment as the worst 5 minutes of my life. 0-tenths experience, would not recommend to friends and family. Too long, did not read. Slipped on ice to meet my girlfriend behind my house. End up re-tearing my Achilles and being broken up with in a span of 5 minutes. At least it was a clean break. She didn't even drive you to the hospital? WTF. This makes my blood boil, as she must have known you were just out of the boot, yet asked you to walk down a flight of stairs and go outside in the cold just to meet her so she can break up with you. On top, you slipped, flew down, hurt yourself, and yet had to limp to her car. Talk about zero consideration and selfishness. Pretty shitty of her to make you come outside in those conditions so that she could talk to you and break up with you. I think you dodged a bullet, cause she sounds super selfish and inconsiderate. Man, I just went through something similar. Was Thursday night and I had a real heart-to-heart with my then girlfriend, and it seemed like we wanted different things. Friday morning she messaged me saying probably for the best we break up. I go to football, soccer, on the Friday evening, go in for a stupid challenge and break my ankle. Today I fucked up by telling my wife of 10 years my real number. So my wife, 30 female, and I, 34 male, have been together for 10 years. We are both from a very rural area, in a town of about 3,000. In towns like this, people tend to sleep with a lot of other people in their friend groups. It's not uncommon in the least, and might be considered gross, but slim pickings, ya know. My wife and I have known each other for quite some time. She dated an old friend of mine. I was, for lack of better terms, fuck buddies with a few of her friends. She knew I slept around a lot, especially in high school, but she never knew the exact amount. We were watching a show tonight where the story was about the number of people partners slept with previously, yada yada. The conversation came up. She wanted to know my real number. I had no intention of telling her, so I said, it was so long ago. I don't know, and I don't even remember what it's like sleeping with anyone but you. A fine answer that I thought would make her drop it. But nah, she just kept prodding and prodding, until she eventually started naming off chicks she knew I had slept with and writing them down. When she hit 10, I figured that was probably all she knew. When she hit 15, I started to get a little worried, and by 20 she was blowing up and I was wondering how the fuck she knew all this. She knew there were more, and wanted me to start naming names. I obviously wasn't going to do that, and I thought if I just finally told her my real number it would be over and we'd move on. So I told her my real number. Suffice to say, she hasn't spoken to me for 2 days. It is by far the longest fight we have had. Usually they last for an hour or two and we just move on, but she's pretty pissed and upset about this one. I kinda don't get it. I married her, have been faithful our entire relationship, and she had an idea I was a slut. No idea how to fix it, as it's already in the past and I've proven I'm with her for life. I've learned my lesson today. Sometimes no matter how long you've been with someone, some things are better left alone. TLDR. Told my wife of 10 years my real number from my past, which led to the biggest fight of our relationship. Edit. Since y'all pervs won't stop asking. It's north of 50 but south of 100. To be honest, I can't remember the exact number. I told her somewhere between 50-60. She's probably gonna find this post now. From the title I thought you had a secret phone lol. But if she didn't want to know the answer she shouldn't have asked. This doesn't sound like a 10-year relationship conversation. Honestly, as a female, I gotta say your wife is out of line here. Our private bits don't wear out with use, so the only real concern would be STIs, which are presumably not an issue at this point, and the possibility that you're slutting around is indicative of a poor attitude toward women or relationships, which is presumably not an issue since you married her and have been faithful.